Sorry, we're closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Episode 50 of Sorry We're Closed here. That's right, folks, 50. And it happened to fall on. I did not plan that. It happened just to fall on the first episode of 2021. And here we are, the new year. I think most people that are at least my age have really hated this year and has quite arguably have said it's the worst year of their lives. I think a lot of people have spoken about that, and even people that are my parents' age, and older. I've talked about how this year, 2020, has been like any other, and possibly the worst year of anyone's life. But we're in the new year, 2021. We are still dealing with this pandemic almost a year later, although as we've spoken on the past episodes, we seem to have seen the end of, or the light at the end of the tunnel. So welcome back. I am happy to announce that I have gotten, I have achieved my 2020 New Year's resolution. There's two I had. I didn't achieve one of them, which was to have a new income stream, a new stream of income. I didn't get that, but I give myself a pass on that because there's a pandemic. That's kind of tough to achieve in a pandemic. Also, but my other one was to average 10,000 steps a day for the year. And I saw an article, or my dad told me an article way back when, but in like last December or last November, saying that if you average 10,000 steps a day, you're considered an active person. So I was like, oh, well, I want to be an active person. So I started doing that. And then my girlfriend got me an Apple Watch for my birthday, and now here we are. So I've accomplished that goal. I don't have to take any steps today. I've already accomplished that goal. So that's 3.65 million steps in a year. Listen, it wasn't easy at times, especially, when I was drinking. Oh, I still am drinking, but like when you get really hungover, you don't want to move at all. And next thing you know, you have a day where you have like 400 steps. That is just miserable. That really hurts your numbers. So it wasn't easy, but listen, it's a New Year's resolution that literally took all year to do, and I accomplished it. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So going into 2021, I don't know what your guys' New Year's resolutions are, but I always try to add a stream of income because that's a financial goal of mine. But an active goal, I'm going to try to not miss a weekday, Monday through Friday, with a workout, some type of physical exercise. Not just walking around my apartment or anything, but like actual exercise. I'm gonna try. That's gonna be a really tough goal for me. That is gonna be actually a tremendously tough goal for me, and I'm gonna do my best to try to make that happen. But it will not be easy. I promise you that. I miss days all the time. So having that, but I'm trying to be a little bit more of a disciplined person in my life, as I think everyone probably is. And this is a definite step in the right direction. If I'm able to accomplish this would be pretty crazy, honestly, if I was able to accomplish this, because this is going to be very difficult for me. But hey, listen, that's kind of the name of the game, I guess. New Year's resolution, not supposed to make something that's super easy for you. But as we hit into 2021 here, all you business owners out there, or really anyone, there was another pandemic in 1918, and that pandemic, as I'm sure you've seen now in memes, and pretty much anywhere on the internet, you see it popping up a little bit, was followed by the Roaring 20's. And people were going out, people were drinking, it was apparently crazy. The Roaring 20's were apparently a lot of fun. And then came the Depression, right after. I think the Depression hit in 28 or something like that, or maybe in 30. So all you business owners out there, especially ones in the restaurant bar industry, you get 10 years to make some money at the end of this, and you better make it count, because if it follows the same path, we are in some trouble come 2030. And we will have the Roaring 20's here, because it's pretty much 100 years later. We had our pandemic happened in 2020, theirs happened in 1918, but it's history is repeating itself. If it's any indicator of what's to come, 2030, 2031, we're all going to be shitty years. But, I'm not going to be sitting here trying to predict the future. But hopefully we do have a roaring 20s and then a roaring 30s and a roaring 40s, because I know a lot of business owners, myself included, could use it after what we've experienced this past year, and moving forward. It's not gonna, it doesn't look like to be any easier for the next couple of months, at least maybe half a year, maybe even more. So hopefully we get back. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you guys today about. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. I'm not bringing on a guest the first Monday of the year. I do have guests lined up for the coming weeks. But this one I wanted, it's the first one of the year, 2021. Sorry We're Closed has gone 50 episodes now. And I appreciate every single one of you that listen. More people listen than I expect. More people that I know listen than I expected. I've had some people at the bar that have come up to me and talked to me about the podcast and things that they liked and like to hear. They like to hear a little bit about Green Rock. They want to hear a lot about baseball, and it's always nice to hear. It's tough to put into words, really, how you feel when people come and talk to you about your podcast and people that are listening. Sometimes you're embarrassed. Sometimes you're sitting there thinking, "Oh shit, they heard that," but sometimes you're pumped about it. And people that are listening and tuning in, and people even sometimes offering advice, thinking like, "Hey, well, listen, I would love to hear about this," and giving you ideas to kind of go into, because contrary to popular belief, making ideas about podcasts isn't that easy, and you don't have that much to say. At least I don't. But sorry, we're closed. 50 episodes. It's fantastic. I just did a recap last episode of the 2020 year. Which was, as far as business-wise, it was crazy. But at the same token, opening up, starting my own business again, and doing some social media stuff as well as the podcast. Whether even having meetings. I've had meetings all the past 2 months, but maybe going into more bars, more real estate options. You always have meetings, and that's something that I wanted to impress upon you guys going into 2021, and a lesson that I've learned. But I want you guys to take into consideration as you try to, build your lives, is especially if you're an entrepreneur, never turn down meetings. It's rare that I've ever turned down a meeting. I actually went on a meeting back in 2015 with a gentleman who I was pretty sure was going to pitch me a pyramid scheme, and he sure enough did. He was adamant that it wasn't a pyramid scheme, but it definitely was. But I sat there, did the meeting. The guy left. I had a drink with the bartender who I was a friend with. It was a friend of mine, still is a friend of mine. And that was the end of it. But you learn things, you pick up things. Also, another thing that you don't realize in the meetings that you're taking away is how yourself want to act in these meetings. What information you want to give up, what information you don't want to give up. How much do you even really want to talk in them? Do you really want to listen? Most of the time, especially the introductory meeting, especially if I'm the one being asked to have the meeting, I typically don't say a word. I just listen. What are you pitching to me? What do you want to get out of this meeting, and move from there? Because the less you say, especially early on in the meetings, the better off you'll be, because you're not giving away as much info, and you're making that guy or that lady just go into their own head and think more and more about what might be this guy thinking, because you didn't say anything. So the one thing I want to impress upon you guys, especially entrepreneurs, because that's mainly the entrepreneur life, is having meetings with people and trying to expand your own businesses, and is not to turn down a meeting in 2021. Don't do it. I don't do it. I think it provides value. You gain information. I've gained information from every meeting I've ever been in, whether it's a contact. Oh, now I know this guy or this girl, and now I can give them a call if I need something, if I need this, or if I'm curious about this, become friendly with these guys. Whether it's having an idea of how they run their businesses. Oh, you do it this way. Oh, okay. And then I've changed operational things at Green Rock because I just know some people around town that are other bar owners that I was like, oh, I like that. I'm going to do that there. Or I'm going to do this. And it makes sense. I think there's a lot of people that talk poorly about Green Rock when we do dollar beers because it undercuts them. It's tough to undercut a dollar beer, and it undercuts them, but there's operational tricks and operational things that you do to get people in the door. You need to get people in the door. Once you get people in the door, then you can upsell them. But you can't upsell an empty bar. And that's just the name of the game, unfortunately. But you learn these things, and if you don't ever take these meetings, you never put yourself out there, you never meet these people, you never make deals, you never do any of this stuff, you don't really advance that much. You're limited to what you know. You're limited to the people you know. I know Anthony Renato spoke last time he was on the podcast, well, the only time he was on the podcast, saying that your net worth was equivalent to your network. It's true. Especially in the entrepreneurial world, at least the world that I'm in, the more people I know, the better, the more I grow. The less people I know, if I didn't know anyone, I wouldn't even own restaurants, but even if I did, I wouldn't be able to do anything. I wouldn't be able to grow, and no one would know who I was, and no deals would come my way. Restaurant deals, real estate deals in a town like Hoboken where there's buildings involved and things like that, they're not put up on Zillow. You gotta know people. They put out feelers to other bar owners, to other people in the business, and say if anyone's interested, and then people come knocking. I go knocking sometimes. Other people go knocking other times. And so, it's different with every case by case. But these are the way you know these people, and the way you find out about these deals and be able to expand your network and expand your business is, whatever it might be, is by knowing people and knowing the right people to find out about these deals. I've never had a deal come to me, from the newspaper or from Zillow or from, I don't even know if there's a website that sells restaurants, but I've never had a deal come to me there. I've had a deal come to me through other bar owners. I've had deals come to me from the city where they just happen to know someone. They're like, hey, if you're interested, let me know. I've had deals come to me from friends and family, but you get deals from the people that you know. There's no website. There's no, even when I make deals on the side on social media and stuff like that, most of the times I'm making the deal because I know someone that works there, or I know someone's familiar. People want to do deals with friends. They always talk about how business is done on the golf course or at the bar. And it's because, people want to do business with people they like. And if they don't like you, they don't want to do it. And if they don't know you, they have no clue if they like you or they don't like you. So never turn down a meeting in 2021, all you entrepreneurs out there. Listen to people, talk to people, make your network bigger. Try to network all the time. Not the networking events necessarily, but go to the bar, go to the golf course, introduce yourself to people, talk to people. Because that is really how you're going to grow your lives and grow to a point where you're in a position to come away after 2021 in a much better position than you were when you started it. When you're listening to this podcast on today's Monday, so the first was Friday, so second, third, one, the fourth, today's the fourth. So on January 4th, as you're listening to this episode, you're going to be in a much better position on December 31st of 2021, a year away, if you've grown your network over this year, and you've sat down with people, talked business, pushed people to do things. I was the one that approached for Green Rock. It wasn't that guy. The other guy that owned the time didn't approach me to buy it out. I approached him. No one even knew it was for sale. I don't think he knew it was for sale. But I went over and said, hey, you want to talk? Let's talk. I'm interested. Would you take this? Okay, let's talk. And boom, now I own Green Rock. And that's probably how I'm going to get a lot of my other places. Oh, you're interested in selling? What about this? I think I have a very good method of valuation that I think makes other people think that they're getting a great deal when I think that I'm getting the great deal, which is it's a great way to do business. Everyone leaves happy. I leave happier than they do in my book, but everyone wins. So taking meetings, networking with people is a way to really advance in your life. And I think you guys should all do that. It's just important. It's important. This is Pat Light Business. This is my business hat's on, not my baseball hat. And it is how I've been able to make a living post baseball. And I think that's something that you guys should consider as you move forward and do things. Man, people that reach out to me on Twitter to do podcasts or to work on blog on my website. There's a lot. I haven't been able to get to all of them, and some of them I'm actually even interested in having them blog for my website. I just haven't been able to reach back out yet because I've been doing other stuff. But those people, I like that. I like when people reach out to me. It's networking. They're trying to network themselves. That's cool. Good for them. And that's the type of people I like to work with. If I end up liking you, okay, maybe come on. So, listen, guys, 2021 is bound to be a better year than 2020. Hopefully, it's the beginning of the Roaring 20s. Hopefully, you all have a phenomenal year. Sorry We're Closed you're in for a treat. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We got already a bunch of guests lined up for the year, and it's only going to get more and more fun, especially as baseball season approaches, as we get closer and closer to hopefully a full season. Although we have heard that the Major League Baseball is pushing for, I think, May or so. That's the early reports. So hopefully we get a full baseball season, or at least somewhat close to a full baseball season, and somewhat normal. People in the stands, people having fun. I'm jealous of Australia right now, or New Zealand. One of those, or maybe both. I saw a baseball game happening with all the fans in the stands, and it wasn't a huge stadium, but they had however many thousands of people there, and they're all sitting next to each other, close to each other, no masks. Seems like a great place to be right now. So hopefully we get there in the United States here in 2021. For those of you listening abroad over in Europe, I know I got some people out in Ireland, which I appreciate you guys listening. I am Irish, so I appreciate you guys listening. And I hope that 2021 is a better year for you guys over in Europe and anywhere else you may be listening. I know we got some shout out people in Afghanistan. I think I only have one guy out in Afghanistan. Works, he's in our army, I believe. I'm not sure which department, but I appreciate you listening. And listen, guys, I appreciate everyone. So also, quick update on the Sorry We're Closed stuff. The winners, we announced the 19 winners. I am packaging and sending stuff out probably next week or sometime. So look out for that. I'll probably be reaching out to some of you guys to kind of make sure I'm getting addresses correct and things like that. But you'll have the mask, the signed card, and a little note from yours truly. So I appreciate everyone participating in that. That was cool. We got some more people on the email list that we can get going again as every Friday. It announces the next week's guest and so forth. So guys, have a great rest of your week. You'll see me here on Thursday. And until next time, guys, I'll see you at the bar. Thank you so much for listening to the Sorry We're Closed podcast. Go subscribe to our email chain over at thepatlight.com and follow us on all social media. Until next time, guys, I'll see you at the bar.
Sorry, we're closed.